Hello friend, we are looking here the last lecture in the topic number 3, the importance and criticism on the Keynesian theory of employment. In the previous 4 lecture we discussed about the classical theory of employment, JB says law of market, the Keynesian critiques on the classical theory and JB says theory. Then here we are looking the importance and criticism on the Keynesian theory of employment. The lecture number 4 we also discussed the Keynesian theory of employment and output, which is explained in 1936 by J.M. Keynes. And today we are looking here the last point of this topic. Previously we discussed the different view employment, JB says theory of market, Keynesian critics, the Keynesian theory, and today we are looking at the criticism of Keynesian theory. So we know there are the different views about the employment, 3 important views: classical views from Adam Smith to till 1930 by J.B. Say, P.W. Marshall and J.S. Mill. View is about the classical view about the employment, Keynesian theory of employment by made J.M. Keynes in 1936, and modern view of the employment, which is explained by the Milton Friedman, Baumol, Tobin, Modic, Villani. So classical theory, which is not any one economics theory, is the combined theory of Adam Smith, David Ricardo, Dr. Marshall, J.S. Mill, J.B. Say, Professor P.W. Robertson, Fisher, etc. So classical theory of employment, the not any one economics thought. It is the thought present in economics from Adam Smith to till 1930. It's called the classical thought of economics. Term of classical economics was first used by the Karl Marx to describe the economic thought of the David Ricardo and his predecessors, including the Adam Smith. So thought of the classical economics about the employment is the classical theory of the employment. But this theory is the popular till to 1930, but after that the failed this theory to the situation of the unemployment and phases of trade cycle, which is created after Great Depression. And that's why the Keynes explained his theory in 1936, the general theory of employment and interest money, and criticized on the classical theory. The Keynes had not only criticized the classical theory of full employment, also propounded his theory, general theory of employment and interest money, and which is widely accepted in entire world. But beside this, there are some critics made by the other economics on the Keynesian theory. So Keynes is the important given contribution to the develop his own theory about the employment. So first we are looking the importance of Keynesian employment theory. So Keynesian thought brought the revolutionary and fundamental changes in economics, so it is called the new economic and economic revolution. Whenever the failure of the classical theory about the full employment and the question about the how will be the equilibrium of the economy achieved, and whether it is the full employment level or the underemployment level, how will we remove the unemployment, solve the problem of depression, these kind of question find by the Keynes, and that's why his theory is important in the economics. He has also explained some new innovative concept in his theory, means the propensity to consume, consumption function, multiplier, marginal efficiency of capital, liquidity preference, and effective demand. So Keynes gave the contribution to development of the employment theory, and that's why he is the more important to macroeconomics. Also important, J.M. Keynes criticized the classical theory and full employment, both the theoretical basis and practical instruction formal of real life. According to Keynes, there is no full employment, there is the underemployment situation in economy. Every economy facing the problem of unemployment. The next thing is, according to Keynes, the full employment is the exceptional case, and there is a general situation of underemployment and unemployment, which is faced by today every world. And this view of the Keynes, the unemployment due to the deficiency of aggregate demand of effective demand, Keynes find that the answer, the unemployment is created because of the lack of effective demand. The Keynes explained the employment point of view, therefore the applicable whole economy from the macroeconomic nature. His theory is the macro point of view. The next is an integrated his theory of value and output with the monetary theory, is accept the limited capitalism instead of the free market mechanism. So Keynes accept the limited capitalism instead of the free market mechanism. The Keynesian theory is a general theory which is such as a very wide applicable to all situations, and the importance of the government intervention in the today's world for the remove of the problem of unemployment, the problem of inflation, problem of recession, and the problem like the COVID pandemic. So government intervention, role of the government is the important according to the Keynes theory. The next is the invented some new concept by the Keynes, the multiplier, marginal efficiency of capital, the consumption function, propensity to consume, and the effective demand, liquidity preference. These are the innovative concepts explained by the Keynes in his theory. That's why the Keynesian theory is more important in macroeconomics. But besides of this importance, some of the economics criticize the Keynesian theory, and we looking here the criticism also. So first, critics on the Keynesian theory about the unrealistic assumption, the assumption like the perfect competition, a stable consumption function based on the law of diminishing return assumption, fixed money wage, and the fixed speculative demand, the schedule for money. Also, Shapiro has observed the Keynesian theory wrong assume the supply of capital available unlimited quantity. So his assumption is the unrealistic according to economics. Assumption of closed economy, today every country is the related with the other country, export some goods, import some goods. So there is export import, so there is no closed economy according to other economics. The other critics on the Keynesian theory about the neglect wrong run, the Keynes is given importance to the short-term analysis. According to Keynes, in the long run we all are died, but according to economics, the long-run analysis is also important, and that's why he neglect the long run according to some economics. Neglect the micro analysis according to economics. The study of the macroeconomics, we need the micro approach is also important. So according to Ackley, a real understanding of the working of macroeconomic variable of national income and consumption, employment, the study of their micro behavior is also essential. So neglect the micro approach according to the Ackley. So these are the critics. Also some critics about the limited explanation about the investment, fail they consider effect of the investment technology of progress, thus they ignore the impact of technology on economy. So there is a limited explanation about the investment according to economics. The incomplete explanation about the unemployment, the Keynes has criticized the tracking only the cyclical unemployment and involuntary unemployment, but neglect the other types of unemployment which is found in capitalistic country. He did not offer the solution of frictional and technological unemployment, also some other, the seasonal unemployment, half unemployment, the how they remove the other type of unemployment and not explain about the other types of unemployment. So incomplete explanation about the unemployment according to other economics. Also criticize his theory about the limited application. According to the Ricardo, his theory employment is in applicable only socialistic and communistic society. So it is also a modern capitalistic country where they exercise the monopolistic competition rather than the competition. So his theory is the limited application according to some economics. And Keynesian theory is not a general theory because it is a special theory applicable only under static condition, applicable under the certain assumption. So it is applicable perfectly competitive and closed economy. So Keynesian theory is not a general theory according to economics. The next is about the static nature of theory. The Keynes is assumed so many things is the constant. So theory is not sufficient to dynamic, and it may be more properly is called the comparatively static. It does not use the concept of time lag. That's why the Keynesian theory is the static nature according to the economics. This model failed to explain short-term fluctuation and incomplete explanation of consumption. According to Professor Ackley and Slinchetter, the consumption function ratio does not simple from the current income and current consumption. There is also the relation between the past and expected income and consumption. So Keynes neglect the past and the expected income and consumption according to the Professor Ackley and Slinchetter. So Keynes is neglect the certain things. The critics on the saving and investment did not pay the more attention to the saving, is give more attention to investment. His analysis according to some economics is X and saving that more importance in influence the level of employment. So Keynes has the make that the saving and investment relation very confusing. That's why the critics that the saving and investment relation. The neglect the aggregate supply. According to Don Paddington, Keynes has the treated aggregate supply function is adequate. According to the aggregate supply is the constant, and that's why his theory is the totally demand side theory. According to some economics, demand creates own supply at his the theory's intention. So he neglect the aggregate supply and totally in the favor of the aggregate demand. So neglect the aggregate supply according to Don Paddington. The next, the critics on the effective demand. According to Hazlitt, the volume of employment is not function of effective demand rather than the depend upon the interrelation between wage rate and price and supply of money. So there is a direct relation between the effective demand and volume of employment is the fallacious. So the critics on the effective demand by the Hazlitt. The next critics about the inadequate explanation about the rate of interest. Hansen give the critics about the rate of interest like the believe like quantitative theory, the transaction demand of money interest inelastic, but he was wrong because it also interest elastic through at the higher rate of interest. It said that the Keynesian theory is largely a monetary theory since pay extensive attention to money in the economic analysis, not given the proper adequate explanation about the rate of interest. Neglect the explanation about the rate of interest according to economics. Other critics on his theory, Keynesian theory is criticized about the business cycle which is primarily base expectation. Keynes does not give the more attention to the fluctuation of the trade cycles, and according to the Professor Kurihara, not attempt to show the process of transition position, one position equilibrium to the another, how the equilibrium is transit from one to the another is not given the fully explanation in his theory. Also neglect the Keynes the principle of acceleration. The acceleration principle is also important to generate the employment level economy. The essential the acceleration principle to the economics, and he neglect the principle of acceleration principle according to economics. We looking the summary of this lecture. The classical theory and their view still to the very popular till to the Great Depression 1930, but after that the classical theory failed to analyze unemployment and the phases of trade cycle. James Keynes criticized the classical theory and says law of market, and the explained his own theory, general theory of employment in 1936. Despite the some of the criticism on the Keynesian theory, it cannot deny it has a great significance in even today. It has the continued exercise considerable influence on economic thinking almost all over the world. Keynes given the most important things that the intervention of government and the understanding the role of for the solving the problem of unemployment, inflation, and the situation like COVID pandemic. So Keynesian theory has a both theoretical and practical importance. Keynesian theory is a thought brought revolutionary and fundamental changes in economic. So it has been called new economic or the economic revolution. He has explained and used new economic tools and concept economic analysis in his theory such as consumption function, propensity to consume, multiplier, marginal efficiency, liquidity preference, and effective demand. These are the innovative concepts explained in his book. And the references, you can use the M.L. Jingan macroeconomic theory, H.L. Ahuja macroeconomic theory, Rasa R.G. S.P. Adhav, Gotekar Gola business economic, Prashant publication, Sem-III books is also available for study, and you can refer these books. Assignment question will be asked on this point. The critically analysis the Keynesian theory of employment for 15 to 20 marks. So thank you for watching this video, and here end the topic number 3, and next time we are looking the topic number 4.